Hi everyone, I'm VALÉRIE Ibarra. Welcome to my channel. And if you're thinking about going vegan but you have no idea where to start, you're in the right place because in this video I'm gonna share my top 7 tips for a smooth transition. Let's get started. So becoming vegan can be a very daunting experience. Trust me, I've been there and I know how difficult it can be. So let's start off with tip number 1. Find your why. Why is it that you want to go vegan? It's so important to have that foundation because you're gonna have those moments of weakness where you really want to just be done with the vegan lifestyle and keep eating or keep living the way you were living. But once you find that why, you really can stick to it. So whether it's for the environment, for the animals, for the humans, find it, research it, and really stick with it to keep yourself motivated. Not only that, but people are gonna start asking questions. They're gonna ask why you decided to go vegan when you tell them that you're now vegan. So start having those explanations as to why you're vegan so that people don't derail your motivation and your inner voice, because trust me, you're gonna get it all. You're gonna get people telling you that veganism is silly, that you're crazy, that it's just a phase. Like, you'll get it all. I've gotten it. I still sometimes get it, but just once you have that foundation down, you're gonna be able to stick to your plan and not be derailed from it. So then my second tip is to be judgment-free. So like I mentioned, people are gonna be judging you and your new lifestyle, and they're gonna say all sorts of things. And sometimes it's easier to judge back, but don't do it. And it is a little bit easier to judge back in the sense that you're like overloading yourself with all of this information as you find your why. And when people start judging you, you can say things like, oh, well, you know, you don't care about the animals or you don't care about the environment. And the truth is that a lot of people, it's not that. Like, they just have no idea what veganism is, and sometimes it's easier to judge things than to be accepting. So just don't judge back. As soon as I stopped judging others, predominantly my family, like, we would have random arguments and debates about veganism, but as soon as we just stopped that and I just started living my vegan lifestyle and cooking fun dishes, they started to get more curious about it and wanted to learn more about the vegan lifestyle simply by me making these recipes and just being a chill vegan. A lot of people now call me a chill vegan, and honestly, that's what I like to be. I've realized that me being calm about it and not being pushy towards others has really made a big difference in them accepting me and just an overall positive experience. Then my third tip is find your alternatives. So there are so many alternatives out there, but we all have that one specific food group or dish that we are just scared to give up, right? Like, we feel like we're gonna give it up. Like, let's say it's cheese. A lot of people don't go vegan because they just love cheese so much. So find those cheese alternatives. And you can do this by doing a simple Google search or even going to the supermarket. I've literally realized how much easier it is to be vegan now. They have designated vegan sections in the supermarket now, not only here in the USA, but also in Spain and in other places. Last time I went to Spain, they had a whole section devoted to it, and now things are labeled with the little V for vegan and all sorts of different things, and it just makes it so much easier. But let's say you don't even want to try any of those alternatives. I do recommend them, but if you don't want to try them, then start finding different recipes of how to make cheese or how to make your favorite thing, and you'll realize that there's so much out there for you to create and have fun with. And yes, some of them might be doozies, but others will be amazing, and next thing you know, you'll like it more than the original. So have fun with it, find your alternatives, do your research, and I promise you'll have a good time. Then my fourth tip is to plan ahead. You're gonna need to plan ahead, and that's just in general in life, but with veganism, you're gonna find moments where there might not be anything for you to eat. And if you don't plan ahead, let's say you're going to a restaurant with a whole group of friends and you didn't choose the restaurant, just call ahead and see what vegan options they can make. Or let's say you love going to your favorite restaurant, you don't have to give it up. Just call them or go there and ask them if they can make your favorite dishes in a vegan way, or maybe you'll find a whole new favorite dish by just simply asking and planning ahead. Another thing is plan your little treats with you. Like, I promise, I've been in situations where I had nothing to eat and the hunger was real. Like, I've even been in family events where I have nothing to eat whatsoever because I failed to plan. And the easier you plan and bring your snacks with you, or bring your food, or even ask your family, like, what are you serving tonight, so that I can bring something similar, or I can, you know, share a recipe with them. Like, do all those things, because it's, one, just gonna make it easier for you, and two, it'll be fun. Like, people really enjoy making recipes for you. So many of my friends get very creative in the kitchen, making a dish particularly just for me, and then they end up really loving it. So again, have fun with it and plan ahead. Then my tip number 5 is nutrition and supplements. I highly, and I mean highly, recommend that you download a fitness or nutrition apps. There's all sorts of different apps where you can log all of your food, and that helps you to realize if you're eating well. So I was really under eating, like by miles, and I wasn't getting the right nutrients and supplements because I didn't know anything about it. So had I had this app, I would have been able to realize that I was eating very low amount of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Like, I was really under eating to the point where I started to feel very sick when I first started going vegan. Not only that, but in those apps, a lot of them will tell you what nutrients you're lacking. So had I done that, I would have known that I was really lacking in vitamin D and that I needed to have a B12 supplement. And for some reason, my why was very strong, because I stuck with it even when I felt like utter crap. Like, I really felt terrible, but for some reason, my why was strong, and I was able to research different ways to have supplements, and I learned that I needed to take B12 and vitamin D. And once I started taking my B12, everything was good to go. Like, to give you an example, I kept getting these little cuts in my fingers, whether it was paper cuts, whatever it may be, but they started to get inflamed and puffy, and it was because I was very deficient in B12. And again, once I started taking that supplement, everything was good to go, and I was back on my train, back on my journey with no problems at all. So definitely recommend that. Then my 6th tip is to be patient with yourself. Like, seriously, be patient, because change doesn't happen overnight. And all of this is gonna take some time. You're gonna have moments, I know it happened to me, where you'll buy something that you think is vegan and then you realize, no, it's not vegan, it has dairy in it, or a derivative of dairy. There's all sorts of things, and I was such a dork about it. Like, I wanted to be so successful in this vegan lifestyle that I honestly would beat myself up for buying these things, even though I didn't know any better. So be patient with yourself, because you're not gonna be perfect right off the bat, and that's perfectly fine. Just be accepting. Also be patient with your taste buds, because your taste buds, I promise, are going to change by miles. Like, I now crave kale like crazy. I crave my smoothies, all my healthy veggies. I love tofu. That wasn't the case before. Like, I didn't crave any of these foods. Not to mention that I've accidentally been given dairy before. It sucks. I hate when that happens, but it does happen. And when I've had the dairy, not only does it upset my stomach, but it honestly tastes pretty repulsive to me, to the point where, like, now if I eat something and I think it has dairy in it, I'll ask the server or I'll ask my family, and they'll be like, oh, yep, it had dairy in it. Like, that's happened to me, and it's okay. Like, be patient knowing that that's gonna happen, and it's okay. Like, don't beat yourself up for it. Don't beat others up for their mistakes, because they're also trying to accommodate you. And then my last tip is to find a vegan group. So find a group that you can have fun with, learn with. I know I've met so many friends by volunteering at farm sanctuaries, and it's just been a fun experience for me to be around like-minded people, because one, it makes me feel less alone. Like, you're gonna feel so alone when you become vegan if you don't have anyone else around you. So that can be your way to have people support you and to learn from others. I know I've learned about different restaurants from my vegan friends and different ways to cook and all this stuff. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that you have to go and meet with them, but going on Instagram and following people that are vegan, or on YouTube, and here, like, this is what this channel is about, to build this community of veganism together and to have fun, because that's what it's all about. Life is too short to make yourself miserable, and if you want to go vegan and be miserable with it, you can. Like, in anything, it's easy to find the misery, but when you find the fun and you find the questions and all of that, it's gonna be a good time. So those were my 7 tips for a flawless transition to a vegan lifestyle. Leave a comment below for your favorite tip, and also leave a comment below for that one food item or that one meal that you just can't imagine living without. So comment below so that I can just know what it is that I can help you with, and I can come up with some fun recipes to make that transition fun for you and just to try things out. So thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate all of your views. I post every single week, so I will see you next week. Have a wonderful day, stay safe out there, and thanks again. Bye, y'all.